Yeah, back to the World Cup. Yeah, the experience itself was phenomenal. I think what was really exciting was the fact that not just us, Australia, but like Morocco, Korea, Japan, USA, all the countries, like even like Ghana, Senegal, a lot of the countries that people put as outsiders actually made their mark and made a difference at the World Cup. And the people that everyone expected and tipped to go along didn't. And that just proves that football's being played all over the world and that football's developing all over the world, that football's not just a country for half of Europe and half of South America. There's a reason why it's the best sport in the world and it's the number one sport, is because everyone can play, and there you see in every generation there's something different. In this generation of African footballers, Morocco's unbelievable, and in Asian football as well, all the countries in Asia are getting better. In the USA, who were the youngest team in the tournament, I think there's a really bright future, purely based on the fact that next World Cup's in 3.5 years here, and you'd expect all the players that played in this World Cup would be a bit more experienced, have more experience, and do better. For us, on an Australian note, I think it was miraculous. I think we've done really well. We surpassed what everyone thought. Everyone thought we were going to go there, and not us as a group, but I think people around Australia and general football fans thought that we were going there. You know, we're going to just go to participate and then go home after 3 games. But I think we proved a lot of people wrong, and we proved that football's not just a 1 or 2 man game. Football's a family game, and we had a very strong bond, and that's all got us over the line in most of the games. And I think in general, Qatar organised the World Cup. In my opinion, I was in Russia. I think this World Cup was better. I think it's the best World Cup it's ever been. The World Cup final was the best World Cup final like ever. So I think it'll be hard to beat. Obviously, very, very happy that in the end, not happy that Argentina knocked us out. But if I had to be anyone, and if I had to choose anyone, it'd probably be I'd choose them, because of Messi, and I really wanted him to win it. I think not just me, I think everyone wanted him to win it, and I think he deserves it. And I think he's a highlight of my footballing career, my generation of people, I think, who grew up watching him. I had the privilege to play against him, and I think that's something special when you stand next to someone like that and you see what he does on a football pitch, and you just ask yourself how he does it. Like, it's miraculous, like how he sees things, how he does things, and how he moves, and just how composed and calm he is. It's just stand somehow and ask yourself why and how is it possible that he's so good. And it was a pleasure to play against him, and I think the World Cup put me, and I hope in the end, put Columbus Crew and this beautiful city on the map as well, and that people, if anyone ever did Google me or look me up, saw that I play here, and hopefully we have a few more fans and a few more people that admire our club and this community, which would bring me joy, and I think would bring the people here joy as well.
Absolutely. And then obviously it's only day 1 here, but what were your sort of initial impressions of the coach and how things went today?
Yeah, obviously the first day, and I think the first day is obviously always a little bit rough. Everyone's always either excited, and there's always a lot of young kids, and I say young kids because I'm 28, and there's probably players that are 17, 18 who are really excited. And I remember when I was 17, 18, I used to run through walls and do things crazy because I used to wanted to prove myself, until I realised that's not how you prove yourself. But yeah, I think he has principles, he has ideas. He's got a straightforward mind and a clear vision of what he wants to do, and I hope he implements that in the right way. And if he does, I think the city will have another championship come the end of the year. And I think we have, I guess, the spine and the core of this team, the 15 or 16 players who are left, and then we need to build around that, with obviously some younger players coming in. But I think he's got his principles and his mindset right, and I think he's obviously deserves to be here. And I hope in the future that come back 11, 12 months from now, I can say that I told you guys so. But I think he's a very calm, collected person, and he has this aura about him and this presence about him that kind of gives you this freedom to approach him as a normal person and not kind of in a scared way. And I think he's a good guy. And I think all the players are very happy to be back, and everyone's happy and excited to see each other. And I think we're just all happy to get going. And I think if we could just fast forward the pre-season and start playing, it would be a lot better.
Going back to the World Cup, what do you bring personally back from that, from the experience, from playing with the guys that you did? What can that do to help you this season in Columbus?
I think I bring. I think the World Cup brought out a different me. It brought out for myself personally, I think it brought out I knew I always was kind of a leader, a person that never was shy to go first and was never shy to stand first in the battle line. But I think this brought it out a lot more because I realized in the World Cup we had a younger squad as well, and we had kind of a squad that didn't have that leader. And I realized that I had to do something to kind of get us going, and I did, and it got us going in the World Cup as well. So I think I bring a little bit more of his experience playing against these guys and playing with the guys that I did at the World Cup, and I can bring that leadership in and just that, calm, collected voice. And I'm not here to say I can teach players how to play football because that's not my job, but I can certainly help players, help the younger ones, and help the ones that are already here in terms of if they ever need someone to talk to and just someone to tap on the shoulder, give them a hug and say that, we're in it together, and we'll, that horse tunnel vision, as I say, and just look for the light at the end of the tunnel, and that everything's going to be fine. And I think I can bring that kind of, how can I say, my dad says this at home, like strong fist on the table. How can I say, like, you need to be a man, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I can bring, and that's what kind of was born into me during this World Cup. And it's kind of what I took home, and it's kind of what I'm bringing here is just a little bit of a different mentality in my own mind. Just that hunger and that eagerness to do a lot more because I was disappointed in myself, and I think the club was as well last year, and we've got things to prove, and we need to prove that we are a club, that we are a club that's worthy of not just making the playoffs, but a club that's worthy of going all the way. And that's what I want to do, and I hope I can bring that for all these players, the young ones, the older ones, the whole club, to move forward in the same direction.
With that in mind, year two, you're obviously more comfortable with the league, more comfortable with your teammates, obviously new coaching staff, but how does that, being a second year with the team, plus all of those things you just touched on, how does that make you a better player for this team in 2023?
I think it just helps the fact that I know the league a lot more. Last year I had my moments, ups and downs, I had a few niggles and injuries, but now I know the league a lot more. I know the way the league's played, I know that the way the system is, the travel and everything. I believe in myself, and I believe that I will play better and I will be better, obviously, depending on whether I play or not, obviously. But when I do play, I know I'm going to do things better than what I did before. And always the second year's going to be better, I hope, because you're more comfortable with the players, with the surroundings, with the whole environment. And I hope that the second year, I wish it's like that Mourinho effect, if you guys know it, the second year effect where you win the league.
Yep.
I'd be the happiest guy in the world. And I do that. But then that means I'd have to go at the end of the year. And because the third year's not the same. No, but all jokes aside, I hope it's that effect, and that would please me, and I think bring a lot of joy to everyone around this club. I think I'm ready for it. I just want to have a good pre-season and show that, that I deserve to be here, and then the club can plan onwards and afterwards.
You mentioned that Coach brings in principles and has a clear vision of what he wants this club to be. Can you elaborate on some of those principles that he's talked about or he's bringing with him?
Well, obviously it's only the first day, so it's hard to, it's hard to say and pick down everything. But a lot of it's based on the fact, the togetherness, that we are a team and there's no individual. It's just it's a collective thing, and if we want to get to the top, we have to do it together. We can't be, one going that way, one going that way, and the rest of us going the other way. Then things fall apart. We have to all be together, and that's one of the main principles that he has, is that togetherness, that family feeling. Apart from that, his football, his philosophies, as far as I saw today, was playing quick and being, aggressive and attacking. I guess for the rest, we'll have to have a couple of more sessions and see what happens. No worries.
Thanks, Milos.
Thank you so much. No worries, guys. Thank you. Thank you.